boss. Who doesn't like going to a buffet? Well, I do. So anyhow, here it is. This is a stacking game. There's a lot of stacking games out there. This is about stacking your plate full of food. Let me show you. There's a bunch of really, really nice food pieces here. Each person is going to get a plate. The food pieces are split into different food groups. So, and the color actually does not necessarily correspond to those, but you can easily tell. You have meat, vegetables, dessert, fruit, and seafood. At the beginning of the game, players are going to take a couple characters. So let's say, for example, I get fortified diet and hangry. Hangry says I get 2 points for having desserts and meat on my plate. And fortified diet says I get an extra point for every 4 card. That's worth 4 victory points. So you're going to have a deck here, and this deck is going to be modified by the number of players in the game. And you'll turn over a number of cards plus 1 player. So let's say we're playing a 3-player game. We put these out here. And it's my turn first, and so maybe I'll take the gingerbread man. So I take a gingerbread man, one hand, and put him on my plate. Pretty easy. I get to keep the card. The next player picks a card. The next player, the last player, will have 2 cards to pick from, and they can even pick both if they want to. So as you are taking cards, you're stacking stuff. It always must be on the plate and on top of something else. If one piece of food, let's say I'm putting this and it falls off, you pick it up, you blow on it, 5-second rule, and you can put it back. If multiple pieces fall off, then you get to blow on half of them and put those half back. The other ones are gone. And that's going to be basically it. You're trying to build this, and all the pieces that stay on it, and I'm doing very terribly today, all the pieces that stay on are going to be worth points at the end of the game. And once you go through the deck, you will pick one of your 2 cards to score, and whoever has the tallest thing, and you'll use the side of the box here has a little thing to measure. I'm still hungry here, so I need to make my plate higher. Anyway, you add up all the points, whoever has the most is the winner. The inside of the box is garbage. That's where you throw pieces that were not blown off quick enough and you couldn't put back on the plate. One thing I like about Buffet Boss is just how nice those pieces are. They're really well done. With the different art on them, it's silly, stacking your plate with food, but there's also some good decisions to make here. I like the fact that they give you 2 cards, and by the way, there's a little reference card for each that tells you what every person does, so you don't need to pass a rule book around. But you have these cards, and you can score one of them at the end of the game, so you're trying for 2 different things. I'm irrationally pleased about if one piece falls off, blow on it, put it back on. The 5-second rule, I think it's a hilarious note to what actually happens, maybe at buffets. But I just like the concept of this. The only negative thing is that it is pretty hard to stack a lot of pieces on these. You're going to have pieces fall off. I guess that's not a bad thing, but they're like, ooh, look how high you can make the plate. I'm like, who is doing that? But maybe some people are. This one works particularly well with kids, so that's the rating I'm going to give it because I think this is a great game for families and kids in general. So I'm going to give this one a 7, but I'm assuming you're probably playing with kids. Kids are going to enjoy the idea. The food looks good. It stacks well. It's easy to play, and you get to make some interesting decisions. The fact that the person who goes last gets to take both cards is a neat concept. So that's Buffet Ball.